Hello everybody and welcome to a very exciting YouTube video, and thank you to the EA Creator Network for providing early access to F1 23, which releases next month. You guys know I'm a huge Formula 1 fan and a huge fan of F1 22, as you can tell by the streams I do of it and also the videos dotted around this channel, which you should go and watch actually while you're here. But yes, today I am extremely excited and very interested in getting into F1 23. There'll be a few short videos of this game coming up over the next week or so keep an eye out for those. And today we're starting off simple with a time trial around Silverstone to show off the new handling and physics engine and also the new HUD that I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of over the next year or so. Okay, so here we are in the garage at Silverstone, and while we're enjoying the view of this garage, we'll talk a little bit about the things that have changed in F1 23. First up, we have a refined handling and physics system. Featuring feedback from actual F1 teams, this gives the players a lot more precision and control over the car. The improved physics allow better control under braking, accelerating and cornering, and much better traction, and this works for both controller players and people who are using steering wheels, which I will be in the future. For today though, we're just using controller. Now under this new system, this gives the car a much greater balance between aerodynamics and tyre grip, resulting in a much more realistic performance, which I'm sure you'll be very happy to hear. It also means that the cars have much better grip under pressure, meaning that you won't be spinning off on curbs and not really figuring out how that happened. Another new feature in terms of control of the car is an option called Precision Drive. This is more specifically for controller players, but it gives you much more precise movement with the controller, especially in wheel-to-wheel situations, meaning that you can make a lot more daring moves and hopefully stay in control and not be bouncing around all over the place like a four-wheeled pinball. Can pinballs have four wheels? I'm not sure, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Following community feedback, F1 23 now features the 35% race distance, which is a nice sweet medium between 25% and full, and will give you many more opportunities to really dive into tyre strategies, pit stop strategies, and how far and how hard you push, without, getting into the groove of things, only to find that the race is one lap from being over, which I found the case in the 25% races sometimes. You'd really get into the swing of it, and then it's over. So now we have 35%, which is an interesting option, and also I'll be showing that in the next video. Now, a feast for your eyes, there is a new colour and lighting encoding system in this game, and also improvements to lighting, giving you a much more true-to-life experience. And speaking of true-to-life, VR also makes its return from last year, so if you've got one of them headsets, just slap it on, pretend you're a real F1 driver, and try not to get into too many accidents because they're probably horrifying in virtual reality. And now that I've said all that, we can get into actual gameplay. So here we are at Silverstone, excited to get straight into testing out the new physics and handling, and you will notice immediately, if you have the eagle eye, that on that first corner just then, the back of the car really stepped out, which is something that happens a lot more in F1 23. And it gives you that much more realistic feeling. It also means that you will need to put in a lot more effort into keeping the car under control through these corners, taking it easy. You will also realise, after a little bit of driving, you do need to be braking a lot earlier. This new handling system, the new physics system, how the car moves and how it moves under braking, accelerating, etc. You will see that braking does need to be a little earlier than it was in F1 22. And you will also see immediately the new HUD, which is looking very, very fancy. Honestly, I'm a really big fan of our lower HUD down here with the new energy meters and the new throttle and braking features, and also invalidating lap times. Let's just pretend that I did that deliberately to show you that new HUD label. But it is looking very pretty, as you can see. Now, obviously, I do have to say this is an unfinished version of the game. This build is, well, from around now, and the game itself is not out for another month or so things will be looking even prettier once you get into it. But I'm sure you can agree, just from this brief look, it is looking wonderful. I really do like the new HUD. I really do like it. It's looking a lot cleaner, it's looking very professional, and my goodness me, that back end is really stepping out. So, under this new system, like I said, it really takes real-world physics into account, and the car does feel not heavier, but beefier. You do need to brake a lot earlier, and the momentum of the car really carries through the corner a lot better than it did last year. So that is absolutely wonderful. The vibration feels stronger, although that is obviously an option that you can lower or turn off entirely if that is your preference. But it really just feels more connected to the car, actually. The physics of it really help out. And it feels not more difficult, but definitely like you need to work harder to keep the car in line. And obviously this will come down to the settings, difficulty settings, various other settings like that. There's a word in there that I'm looking for, and it is assistance is the word that I'm looking for. Obviously those options all make a return: traction control, ABS, all of that good stuff. And of course without ABS you will be locking up frequently if you're being a little bit too rough on the brakes. But all in all, it does feel like a real step up from F1 22. It feels, like I said, a lot more connected, a lot more immersive, and you do need to put in more work to keep that car in the direction that it's meant to be going in. And you can see there, having to brake a bit earlier, having to really be a lot more easy on the throttle through corners. Did go slightly faster there, and I mean slightly, by about 1/100th of a second there. But overall, like I said, huge improvement. Very excited to get into a bit more of it. And this video is going to be quite short. Like I said, we're just going to be doing a few more laps around Silverstone, seeing how we get on. But I'm very excited in the next video to show you a Grand Prix, and we'll be doing that on the 35% race distance, which will obviously be cut down to keep the video short, but it will give you an interesting feeling and an interesting sense of how the game works with all the cars on track, unlike just having one. So before we finish up, we've got a few more things to add, and that is of course the addition, or the return I should say, of red flags. Red flags will be making a return, and I'm sure I will be seeing a lot of them, because if you've ever seen any streams I've done of F1 Online, it's pretty much safety car city, and also in single player that of course will be happening. But it is very welcome return to seeing red flags, and I'm very excited to see how it shakes out actually. Not seen any footage of that just yet, but we will see in the future how that will work, and I'm very excited to see that. And the biggest thing of all is that the single player campaign Breaking Point will be returning, so get ready to see more of Devon Butler, and also the new Connor Sport racing team, which was revealed on Twitter and YouTube and pretty much everywhere else just a couple of weeks ago. So that will also be making a return, which I'm very happy about, because I thought in F1 21 that was fantastic. It was a lot of fun, and I can feel my hands starting to get sore already, because if you're not careful around corners with this new system, the back end of that car just has a mind of its own. And actually I'm loving that, because that's exactly the realism that I would expect and want from F1 23. So this is quite a short video, but I'm glad that I was able to go through all the new things that have been added and show you a little bit of gameplay. And there will definitely be much more of that in just a couple of days time when I show you a 35% race. Now if you'll excuse me, I have many more laps of Silverstone to do. So that is your first little look at F1 23, and I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, there will be much more in a couple of days time as I show you a Grand Prix, which I think I'm feeling Brazil for that. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you again to the EA Creator Network for providing early access to F1 23. I look forward to playing a lot more of it. And thank you very much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one, and all sorts of other stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one.